Okay, when we're talking about breathing, uh, we can't really talk about that without posture because the lungs hang on the spine. So you could be breathing beautifully, but if you are not providing the right spine environment, then the lungs will be sort of crunched or uncomfortable or unhappy, and they won't be able to fill properly. So really the way to optimize your airflow, to be able to have a beautiful voice and be commanding and relaxed and all of those things, you need to stand and sit in the best way possible. Now, we generally as humans were getting this right as children up until about the age of 4. Okay, this is because we are generally, unless there's sort of some kind of health issues, we're allowed to sort of roam, we're quite free range, and we actually tend to be on the floor or standing, which are two of the sort of healthiest places to be in terms of spine positions. And as kids, we innately know what nature has given us to be good at this. If you think about toddlers and monkeys as well, they are so flexible. They get up and down off the floor and they're strong and they're running around. And I sort of think to myself, well, what's changed? We're still the same proportion. We're just taller. But why as adults do we find all of this so difficult, right? And why have we lost sight of how important it is to be able to do that? Well, the main thing that we've sort of got wrong is that we've forgotten the thing that nature has given us to be able to do this, and that is the thighs, right? These are this is what supports the skeleton and supports all of that movement. And strangely, as adults, we tend to ask our ankles, our knees, our hips, our furniture, our arms, each other, our cars, we ask everything else to do this job, and we forget actually we've got the perfect mechanism. Yeah, like, what we've just forgotten. Okay, so we need to re-engage our thighs. And remember, like I mentioned, toddlers and monkeys, they're our models. We need to copy them. So we actually need to slightly be in a slight squat most of the time, right? And this is not new news. If you've been to chiropractor, Pilates, yoga, they always say, don't they, sort of free the hips, soft knees. Okay, so do a bit of a scan. People tend to be knee lockers.
Yeah.
So check if you're a knee locker. If you are, just sort of wobble your knees. You need to be at the point where you can just take a step. You don't actually have to sort of unfurl yourself. So you should be always quite spongy. It's not bent knees, it's not straight knees, it's soft knees, right? So that means that the thighs are slightly engaged all the time, so you won't have to go to the gym. These will get nice and firm just by standing, essentially. Now, this is not going to happen if your feet aren't sort of apart. So none of this worrying and, fidgeting and strange movements. I've seen a lot of things. Right, so it really does need to be planted on the floor, okay? And hip width is not very wide, okay? In fact, you can do a thing like this. That's your hips. So if I've got quite slim hips, so actually it's quite a little.
So that's
your
foot. Okay.
Yeah, you do a sort of Michael Jackson type thing. That's it. My yoga teacher once told me that. It's quite useful. All right, and then you want to make sure that your hips are free. You might even want to do this, particularly if you've been driving. You tend to get out of the car and you're all locked up in your lower back, because once we're free at the bottom and supporting our spines properly, now we need to think about the spine. And the spine has loads and loads and loads of vertebrae. And some problem with modern life and all that sitting and driving is the vertebrae get really compressed, particularly at the bottom here. So we need a lovely natural arch in the spine. Don't be afraid to let your bum sort of go this way, and then the spine needs to be beautifully arched. We're sort of rising out of the hips, all right? Then the next single most important change that just about everyone has to make is a proud chest, all right? We have a problem a little bit. We have gravity, okay? We can either work with it in a good way or let it drag us down. Again, what a lot of people do is they let gravity pull the shoulders this way. And they sit like this, and they drive like this, and they play music like this. I've seen pictures of you doing that. Right, if you take a nice deep breath, let the scapula melt down the back and let gravity pull your shoulder, it's the shoulder blades again, pull them down, and actually it will literally be like giving them some of your weight, just going, okay, you've got this. So it's a proud chest, all right? It's not head back, it's not like this, it's just open. Shoulders back, shoulders melting down there. And it's a really nice feeling because you do actually feel lighter, because this is very difficult to carry around and so easy to do. We look at our smartphones and so it really is just giving over. It's going from that to that. It's not even such a big movement, it's sort of that to that. So if you can make one enormous change in your life and stay away from the chiropractor, I suggest you do go from this to this. So now, if we maybe just have a little walk around, we're looking quite regal and empowered. Okay, we're not lifting our heads back, our chin is tucked in. Remember, those vertebrae needs to have no compression, so the neck needs to be nice and long. So it's eyes up rather than chin now. That's it, lovely. Okay, so that is beautiful standing. So now you should be able to breathe and speak. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're nice and confident and free, and your posture is looking empowered. You are commanding, but you're also approachable. All right. So that is sort of public speaking deportment, as it were. However, most of our lives, actually, we're sat in meetings, we're on chairs, we're in photo. Formal and informal have become sort of, there's a point there where you're still having to be professional, but it's in an informal setting. Gary here makes his money by playing in a string quartet. So they do sit and play a lot. Sometimes they stand and play, but there's a lot of chair action. So we need to take care of our relationship with furniture. So if we grab a chair there, this is very, very important, right? So just stay standing in your beautiful new posture. And you need to now realise that actually chairs, we need to scale back our relationship with chairs. Lots of us give chairs too much power. We want them to be beds. We want them to make us look cool. We want them to sort of make us feel comfortable. No, they actually only do one thing. They are just a surface with right angles and on which to put your bottom, but really it's to give this incredibly hard-working muscle a rest. That is all it's doing. So it's essentially like a stump of wood, right? I know furniture designers have sort of tried to sell us a lifestyle, couches, and they're going to, like their thrones, they're going to make us feel like kings and queens. No, we are the kings and queens. The way we sit in and out of them is how you define what the chair is doing for you and what your place in life is. So stop giving it all the power, all right? The fact is that being so sedentary and sitting so much is really not good for our health. So we need to change the way we relate to chairs. And the way I go in and out of chair is I actually reach back in my bottom. I essentially stay standing in every single possible way except here. I just create a right angle. So I trust that the chair is there. This is my brother. He could have pulled it away because he's a bit of a joker. Right. So if you see here, essentially doing like squats at the gym. I'm pushing my feet. I'm what yoga teachers say, sort of leading with the heart. I'm not sort of, that kind of thing. No. I'm completely in control of my body. I'm strong enough. I'm keeping eye contact. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start the meeting. I'm completely ready. My feet are on the floor. Right angles. Right angles, right angles, right angles. Have a go. Reach back with your bottom. Yeah, it's quite athletic and you do want to comfort yourself. Right, so I'm going to take your hands and you're actually going to push with your feet. And it's actually a little bit tricky. Yeah, reach back to your bottom. No hands, no hands. And don't look down. Now this time keep eye contact. It's weirdly hard work.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm already a bit concerned because the shoulders have already rounded.
That way.
Breathe in. Let the scapula melt down. Even more gas. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Right now, rise out of the chair. That's it. Bottom back. Whoa. Almost. That's it. And down again. All right. You have fantastic. You have two options in sort of retraining your body. You can either sit on completely on the edge of the chair, and that's the sort of you're forced to now.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't actually.
That's what I teach my students.
Right.
That.
You can't do this. Well, you
Yeah.
can, but
It's much more difficult.
it's not going to last. All right. Or you can. I understand that in meetings sometimes you need you're taking up quite a lot of space here, right? It's not always possible. So if you're in a meeting, you have to tuck into the table. Then you must go all the way back. You must keep the right angles. You must be disciplined, and you might need a little lumbar cushion to force yourself, which is really actually quite nice.
Yeah.
So just a jumper, whatever you need. And you'll find that actually you'll last longer in meetings, and you won't get that tired and, oh God, will this end? All right. Also, at a table, if you need to be able to pivot. So if you imagine you're sort of typing in a laptop, if you're underneath the table, if you have hands, you tend to sort of like do this.
Yeah.
So get your elbows on the table. It's very much more trustworthy as well to have your hands where we can see them. It doesn't look like you're hiding something. So have ready with your pen and your paper, and you're more empowered. But we'll talk more about body language later. Thank you. Great.
Super.